Hi guys, I'm going to discuss whether INFJs are empaths. Empaths are people who could pick the emotion and the feeling of a person. They can actually feel the person feeling and pick up the sensation. So at least they know what the person is feeling. Some empaths don't pick up the sensation, but they know for sure what the person is feeling. And so let's discuss the different kinds of empaths. You have physical empaths, and the physical empaths picks up people's body sensation. So they will feel the sensation that the person is experiencing, including the person feeling, but they also pick up people's body sensation. So if somebody's experiencing a pain, they will experience a pain. I think example of that may be, you remember when have these men who will have morning sickness and actually have vomit because the wife is pregnant and the wife is having morning sickness. So that is an example of like a physical empath. Then there's emotional empaths. Emotional empaths are the ones who pick up the person's exact feeling. So it's not just like you have empathy and sympathy and you can imagine how the person feel. It's like you pick up the person's exact feeling. So that's the emotional empath. And then there's the intuit empaths. Intuit empaths, they don't pick up the sensation. They could just see a person smiling and looking happy, and they know that no, that is not, there's something, no, they're not happy. They could feel underneath the smile and the what the person is portraying, the mask that they're portraying, that something else is happening. But they're not picking it up in the body. They just have a knowing. They just could tell for sure what's happening with that person. And I will add a next one. I will say there's empaths that can pick up people's thoughts. And what happens is that how you'll know that they're picking up people's thoughts is that sometimes you will be talking to somebody, and every time, if this is happening like throughout the conversation, where they keep saying, oh, I was just about to say that, oh, that was just what I was about to say, oh, you read my mind. Well, those are the ones that picks up the people's thought. And because there's not a lot of discussion about it, they don't know, because most of these empathic things when you're young feel like it's generated inside of you. Okay, so those are the 4 different empaths. So I will say yes, I believe that INFJs are empaths. But the thing about it is that empathy and being an empath is a good thing. I know some people think it might be a flaw or weakness, and when if you don't know how to manage it, you could get overwhelmed by it and try to hide yourself away and totally isolate yourself. But once you know how to manage it, it becomes easier to deal with. Because what happens is that when you're young, especially as a child, if you're growing up in a home but it's not a happy home, and maybe you have an abusive parent or something, and you're picking up the emotions, it could be very tough to deal with. And it's hard to tell if it's your emotions because it's coming from inside, so it feels like it is yours. And the other thing is that you could have empaths. You don't have to fall into that 4 categories that I just listed. You could be a mixture. So somebody could actually have all 4 of the empath together, and somebody could have a mixture of it. And sometimes some people display one and then they have it more with the next one, depending on the person that they're interacting with. So yeah, so I will say that INFJs are empath. Now, the important thing is to know what is yours. The main thing is to know what is your emotion and what is the other person's emotion. Because once you could differentiate that this is your emotion and this is the other person's emotion, everything become easier. The other problem that empaths have is that when they realize that it is other people's stuff that they're picking up, sometimes when the reality of what people may think about you, people who are close to you, the reality of what they may feel about you, it could shock your soul. You know, so if you're close to somebody and when you realize that these feelings are not yours but is actually coming from the other person, it could crush your soul. So you just have to take it easy. Because you just have to take the time to accept that somebody may be feeling hatred towards you, revenge, envy, jealousy. You know, like they just want to destroy you. It takes a lot to be able to accept it, and sometimes you can't accept it in one go. Sometimes it takes years to accept that people could be thinking these thoughts about you, especially when you know, it's like a shock. You're like, I didn't do them anything but just give them love and treat them with kindness and treat them with love, and that is what they actually feeling towards me. Because so that is the other hard part of being an empath and an INFJ. You have to deal with those, picking it up, and then you have to learn how to forgive people, accept that humanity, you know, have negative people have negative thoughts. So after you absorb the emotion from people, you have to be able to clear it out of your system. And there's various methods like salt baths that you could do, and different things that you could do to clear the negative emotions out. But empathy is a very, very beautiful thing. When you can't handle it, you could be very unstable as an INFJ, because you're just bombarded with negative emotion. But when you could harness it and you understand it, it is one of the most beautiful things, and that other people don't get to experience. It's like going into this whole other world. It's a beautiful thing, because I was working with people with Alzheimer's, and they keep saying to me that you're the only one that understands us, you're the only one that knows us. And they will explain to me what it was like to have Alzheimer's, and half the time I forget that they even had Alzheimer's, because to me they were normal, because I could connect very deeply with them. So they were less normal. Like, they would tell me the stories. So what I'm saying is that the depth of what we could feel is so amazing that it's like it's nice. I don't even know how to describe that. It is fantastic. When you have good emotions around you, it's beautiful. It's quite intoxicating. So all INFJs have to learn to do is manage their empathy, learn to protect their heart, and they will be good. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.